It's just a little bit past 10 a.m. here in Washington, D.C. and we are walking past the National Building Museum to get to the Washington Metro. As you can see, that's quite an unusual design. A lot of exposed concrete here, what's also called brutalist architecture. I don't think I quite like how dim the station is looking, and I think it's primarily because of the way it's been constructed. There's so much concrete, and I feel the lighting is not really enough to make this concrete enclosure bright enough. That's our train, the Washington DC Metro, and this is not really a leisure ride. I'm actually heading to the office. We are trying to get adjusted to the rhythms of the workday here. These trains, they seem to run really fast. Much faster than the Delhi Metro for sure, or the New York Metro as well. I just feel that maybe the stations here are fewer and farther. That's why it just runs much faster. And the station that we are heading to is called Bethesda. Wow, I think that's probably the longest elevator I have ever seen. Also, the whole look of this elevator shaft or elevator tunnel, it's a little scary almost. Wow, quite the exercise. Also, I think it has to do with the architecture again here. It's this very hard, brutalist architecture that makes everything look a little harsh to your eyes. And also, in this case, as you can see, it's also a little dark because the concrete doesn't really reflect light that well. Oh boy. That was quite the workout. So I think whenever I would come to the office here in Bethesda, I would definitely get a good workout as long as I choose to walk on those escalators. I'm not sure if I mentioned elevators. I could have mixed the two up earlier. Of course, these are elevators, and we've arrived. Sorry, no. These are escalators, and we've arrived here in this town of Bethesda. As you can see with the tall buildings here, this is kind of like downtown Bethesda. And this is also where my office building is located, just like a 5-minute walk from here. While I will be recording a little bit of this walk because I don't think I'm particularly late, of course, I'll not be recording the office. Everything seems bigger here in the US, be it the cars or the trucks that you see, or be it even the distances that you need to walk. Like, I had to walk quite a bit to get to the Judiciary Square metro station, and even now from the Bethesda metro station onto the office building, it's a bit of a walk. And wherever I've had to go over the last many weeks that I've been here, I've had to walk more than what I'm used to. Everything that you see here in the US, it's just bigger. Even that flower pot in the background, it's so big. Small flowers though, small beautiful flowers, but for some reason they have really big pots here. Just a little bit beyond that theater, which is the Bethesda theater, is my workplace, and I think I'm pretty much there, so I'll get to working and get familiar with all the people and of course the building where I need to work. Look at that big truck. And I'll see you on the other side. It was my first day at work today. Got to meet a lot of people, see a lot of new things within the building and around the building. And I was wondering that while everything else has changed, it is the work that I'm doing that has remained the same. I was doing this work back in India as well, and now I'm doing the same thing here. It's a strange sense of comfort when the food, the place, the people, everything has changed. Your work remains the same. I mean, work remains almost the same, I should say. There we go, our train back into the cities here. And it feels almost as if it's evening, given how dark the platform is, but it's actually still bright outside. So I'm happy, and soon I'll be in Washington, D.C. Back into Washington, D.C. This is the view just outside the Judiciary Square station. So it's interesting to note that it's still very nice and bright outside, so I'll not really get back into the house. Instead, I'll walk around a little bit and try to explore the neighborhood where I'm living. Look at these beautiful flowers, white flowers. Nice. And a little bit about Maryland and Washington, D.C. and Virginia. This is actually called the DMV region. D is for District of Columbia or DC, M is for Maryland, and V for Virginia. And they're all super close to each other. And I'm intentionally walking super close to these leaves for some sort of cinematic effect. I'm not sure if it's working, but that's okay. That's such a nice and thoughtful sign to let all the cars know that they should be extra cautious as they cross by this area. So I'll walk to a place where I'll probably be able to get some coffee and also get a nice walk. That's of course the famous Chinese Arch, also called the Friendship Arch. This was built, I think, with some sort of cooperation between the Chinese and the US government. And this area is the Chinatown area of Washington, D.C. Hence, the arch was built here as well. Clearly, this is where my evening walk gets all the more colorful and all the more beautiful. I love how it's still so sunny and so bright outside. I can even see the blue sky as the background of these beautiful colored umbrellas. And honestly, after my first day at work and after trying to adjust a little bit at work and of course beyond work, this evening walk makes things all the more wonderful, and maybe this is what would help me settle down a little bit into this otherwise very foreign and very new city for me. This very green and colorful and pretty spot, it's actually a very short walk away from where I live. I think it's like 5 minutes. And I mean, today is the first time that I've come to this area, so I'm glad that I'm here after a kind of long day at work. And I'm glad I'm even able to record this. Lily's flower truck. There's Lily, and maybe her mom. I just love what they've done to this space with all these beautiful umbrellas. This has almost gotten like a new life. It feels so wonderful. Just love those rainbows and all those umbrellas. This is art, right? And I suppose this is what they do with this space often, because this is like a shopping arcade. It's definitely fit for such an installation. I am so happy that I chose to walk and not just go back home and relax for the day. I also grabbed my coffee a little earlier, by the way. It was too crowded in there, so I could not really show it to you. But this has been an ideal end, almost end to my day. I'm walking back home now, very close to home actually. I mean, not very close to home, it depends on where home is, because that's always a tricky question. But yeah, I'm very close to the house. This is still Chinatown. Of course, you would have noticed the sunlight is only, wow. Love this moment with the sunlight only at the very top of the buildings, which shows that the sun is setting down. And so is this video. I'm pretty much done for my first work day here in Washington, D.C. And I'll catch you again. Bye.